Why, hello there. I didn't see you come in. Oh, what are you looking at? Is there something on my face? Oh, that's not supposed to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting from Atomo, Iowa, it's the one, the only Claus and Convo, the show that violates you in so many ways and doesn't even buy you breakfast in the morning. I am your Hitler mustache / Charlie Chaplin mustache, foxy host, Dante Padfoot.
And I am your phone answering Chigwire host, Striker Chigwire.
Alrighty.
Jacob Brewitt.
Jacob Brewitt is on the line right now. Jacob Brewitt, you are live on Claus and Convo. What do you have to say for yourself?
Is he there?
Hello. Connection interrupted. We'll just have to continue. Jacob, you can call back in a little bit. Is he back?
Is he there?
Hello? No, you call back in a little bit.
Yeah.
You call back. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an awesome show for you today. We have several very interesting and quite hilarious news stories, and we have some discussion topics.
Yeah, Jacob, your quality indicator is red, so
it could be either us or you.
Probably not. It's not us.
Really?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Well, everything else is going fine, so I wouldn't imagine.
I tested it earlier. It worked fine. So, just make sure your stuff's working, and we'll try you back with just audio.
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, we have to mention that we have a gentleman joining us from, where was it? Sorry, Norway?
Finland?
Finland, I'm sorry. We have a gentleman joining us from Finland today, so that means that Claus and Convo is officially going international.
Yes.
So, who knows where it'll go from here.
That's one sign that we may be turning into Popufurs.
Turning into what?
Popufurs.
Popufurs, what does that mean?
You've never heard the term Popufurs?
Like popular?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So it's a play on words.
It's like everyone. I'm surprised you've never heard the term Popufurs. Everyone has the term Popufurs.
I may have heard of it, but I just.
It's a sign. It's a sign you're about to be washed up.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just guessing.
Okay. You are confusing me. This is insane. Okay, anyways. Jacob Brewitt, if you want to call back later, that'll be perfectly fine, unless you have to... he said that he might not be on for very long because he's got to take his Faza to work. Yes. But, yeah. Anyways, in the meantime, we can show you our Hitler mustaches. Stryker, do we have a picture of Dante with a Hitler mustache?
Do we?
We do. If it'll actually... There we go. There's Dante with a Hitler mustache. And do we have a picture of Stryker with a Hitler mustache? Yes, we do.
You see that's how you pull it off. Angry and crazy at the same time.
That's
very Hitlery.
This Hitler mustache that we have right here was made by my good friend Rachel Cobbler. It's a different Rachel, the one that you're used to. But yeah, she came over last night. She brought a bunch of ceramic mustaches, and some of them including like pedophile mustaches, like the big handlebar ones, and then there's the little tiny cookie duster. It was pretty awesome. And then we took a video, and something that I should have uploaded was a video of me with the Hitler mustache singing "What Makes You Beautiful." We probably should have uploaded that. I think our viewers would enjoy that, but it might have to be saved for another time. Alrighty then, Stryker. How was your week?
Well, it was good.
Good?
It was good. I actually tested it. Actually created another channel under the StrikePod account.
Oh, cool.
StrikePod Backstage. And I played around a little bit with a demo version of the Ustream Pro Producer Pro. And it's got some pretty nice features. It's $200, but...
Is it worth it?
It's possibly worth it.
Ooh. Like what kind of features does it have?
You can layer... you can use layers.
That's really cool. Like the video.
You can overlay like your lower third, or logos or pictures and other videos or whatever. You can use multiple USB cameras. You can add text and edit shots, and
that's pretty cool.
You can actually and save more actual titles, save more shots.
Yeah.
And you can broadcast, I believe, in high def.
Ooh.
I believe.
So if your viewers didn't get enough of these beautiful faces with Hitler mustaches, then you can. Eventually, we might get the. If we ever end up getting the Ustream Pro thing, you might be able to see it in HD.
Possibly.
So hold on to your tits. I like saying that. That's a really funny phrase to say. Hold on to your tits.
You gotta use it appropriately.
Well, with a phrase like hold on to your tits, I think it would be appropriate to use it anytime.
It's one of those phrases that only makes sense when you're about to, let's say, take off in a rocket plane or something like that, or jump a truck over a ravine or something.
Or if you're Hitler planning for the Holocaust, hold on to your tits, baby.
You're horrible.
Oh boy. So yeah, my week was pretty amazing. I've been working a lot lately, but I made sure that I don't work on Fridays so that we could deliver an excellent show for you guys every single Friday, so that you're not, bored out of your minds when one of these days I have to work on a Friday, and then, because that's happened before, we've had to cancel the show because I've had to frickin' work, but that will happen no longer. So anyways.
Indeed.
So yeah, some of the discussion topics we have for later, we're going to discuss furry celebrities, and let's see, what's a good one to preview? We're going to talk about furry comics, because that's a subject that we haven't really delved into, at all, and it's always something that has really meant a lot to me specifically. Furry comics are a huge part of the fandom, and we're going to explain why. And if we think of any other discussion topics, we'll write them down and we'll say them on the show. But in the meantime, if you have any discussion topics, you can put them in the IRC chat, or you can email it to us. So, just send it to strikepod.studios@gmail.com.
And speaking of sending stuff in, I'm thinking we should add more content to our channel.
What the Ustream channels?
For that and the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
And some stuff we can use during our breaks.
Oh cool. You mean what do you mean exactly though?
Oh, just if anyone has a short skit or a news type thing, or just
something entertaining,
animation or something like that.
Yeah.
Just send it in.
And we would love to play it during the intro. Or not the intro. The break. The 10-minute break that we take right before the discussion topic portion.
There's a link to the Striker Pod Studios blog on closetandconvo.blogspot.com. You can check that out. It'll tell you all the stuff you need to do.
All right.
To get it on here. Simple. And, yeah.
And by the way, for those of you who don't know, the website, strikepod.blogspot.com, is the best way to not only stay up to date with all the updates for Claws and Convo, also it's a better player. Because
it's a separate from Claws and Convo.
Oh.
Clawsandconvo.blogspot.com is Claws and Convo.
Okay.
Strikepod.blogspot.com is just Strikepod Studios in general.
Okay, that's what I totally meant.
Including Strikepod Radio.
Okay, I that's totally what I meant. Anyways, so
where's your brain at?
I checked it at the door. Anyways, so that's the best possible way to watch the show.
I need more coffee.
So do I. Because the player on there is a lot, it embeds it right from Ustream, but it's a better, it runs smoother because there's not all this crap on there, the ads and all that stuff. So it is a lot better to watch on there. And
Well, unless you have ad blocker, there's still might be some little ads popping up on the video,
I guess that's true, yeah.
but it won't be everywhere.
Not as bad as it was on Ustream anyway,
Yeah.
you know. And it won't, like, you know, with Ustream there's ads everywhere and it just, like, clutters everything. And, you know, strikepod.blogspot, yeah.
That's
That's the better one.
clausenconvo.blogspot.com.
Wait. Okay, StrikePod's not the one I'm thinking of.
Our stuff is what? Now I'm doing it. What the hell?
You're confusing yourself.
Claus and Convo can be found at clausandconvo.blogspot.com.
Hematite Bear, in fact, there is actually a Facebook for Claus and Convo.
Yes, there is.
But,
I actually updated that so you can actually type in the actual Claus and Convo.
okay,
and
so,
it'll be the proper address.
Okay.
For it, so.
yeah, just search it on Facebook, you should find it. But that one, we don't really keep as up to date as we do on the other stuff. You know, if there's an announcement, sometimes we do it on Facebook, but it's, you know, not usually.
It does end up on our updates do end up on our Twitter.
Yes, indeed. So Twitter would be a better place to go.
Or
but
just
anyways.
clausenconvo.blogspot.com.
Yes.
And use the subscription thing to on your live bookmarks and just to subscribe to the updates.
Okay. Anyways, enough about the
And the IRC.
the
Use
contacting.
the IRC.
Okay,
Yes.
not quite. The IRC is better. Anyways, but we keep both chats open. So
Just in case.
let's get on with the actual entertainment. Do you guys want to hear a joke? My job.
Ah.
I don't know. I'm just pulling this stuff out of my butt.
We can tell.
Go easy on the coffee. Are you kidding me? This is a tradition. We take 2 full thermoses of coffee and we almost drink the entire thing. I'm not kidding.
This is how Americans function right here.
It is our
Yes.
fuel. It is our very way of life. Yeah. So anyways,
Even though it's grown in Africa
Brazil
and Brazil.
Africa,
and-
yeah. But America drinks, I think, doesn't America drink more coffee than any other country?
Yes.
That's what I heard about. And it's even not manufactured. It's grown in Brazil, mostly, you know, because it's like the best
Yeah.
place to...
Down there in the tropical region
Yeah.
near the equator.
That is almost as crazy as a picture.
The only U.S. state that can grow coffee is Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh. So, like, if we even wanted to grow coffee, we couldn't.
It's a very small percentage of the national coffee supply.
Well, I'd imagine so. I mean, it's, you know, little freaking Hawaii. That's almost as awesome as Dante with a Hitler mustache. You know, if anyone wanted to see a picture of that, if we happen to have a picture of Dante with a Hitler mustache. So, there it is. There's Dante with a Hitler mustache. You know what's even funnier than that? Stryker with a Hitler mustache. Oh boy.
Yes. This is a show where we make fun of Nazis.
Well, who doesn't want to make fun of Nazis? I mean, seriously. You know, one time I saw a picture of a little boy that had like a Hitler mustache on, and he was picking up a thing of juice, and it said, "I have eliminated all the juice." I made it funny. That one was always really funny. But, you know, obviously, who doesn't want to make fun of Nazis, man? I mean, they're the funniest thing ever. Illinois Nazis. But yeah, we'll be playing.
Over.
We'll
I got that reference.
We'll be playing a lot with these mustaches. Rachel Cobbler only left me one of them, the Hitler mustache, but we should have left the other mustaches so that we could have done like a pretty awesome, like, you know, thing with all the mustaches, and, you know, I don't know. It would have been funny, but they all got like, you know, the little dowel rods and stuff, so it would have been perfect.
Anyway, moving on.
She made them out of clay.
Moving on.
Okay, well, what do you want to move on to? Off a cliff?
Okay.
If I'm doing it, you'll do it, right?
If I have a parachute.
Because if everybody jumped off a cliff, would you do it too? Yes, Mom. Yes, I would. We do have some awesome news for you. News stories for you guys. We have a story, like, this is for later, though. We have a story about a Florida restaurant serving lion tacos, like lion meat tacos.
Nom nom.
And we have a video of a deer crash.
Wait. Lion meat?
Lion meat.
As in
Actual lion meat.
actual lion burger?
Yup. Look, there's the picture of it. That's actual lion.
Revenge!
Well, you're not a lion.
I'm a cheetah. Well,
You're
jaguar
a
hybrid.
jaguar.
But cheetahs don't have the best relationship with lions. In case you didn't know,
Oh,
they're always
I
fucking with
see.
us,
So it was
and
like a revenge
killing our
against the
young
lions.
Yes.
Okay.
Revenge is mine.
How do you get along with Naboa, our very awesome lion friend from Cedar Rapids, Iowa?
He is the one exception.
Yeah. I mean, you can't hate Naboa. He's the coolest.
Yes.
We've seen him on several videos. Not only have I met him, but I've seen him on quite a few things. We haven't been showing as many videos as we used to, mainly because they're, whenever we play a video on the stream, it's either really choppy or just doesn't play right or something.
Yeah.
But this one was funny enough that we just had to show you. We'll do that for later, though. Save it for later, like during the beginning of the news portion of the show. Also, as some of you know, last week we didn't deliver a full show because I was
partied
incapable.
too hard.
Because I partied too hard, and I was kind of incapable.
You're supposed to save that for the weekend.
Well, it was kind of the weekend. It was a Thursday.
Thursday is not the weekend.
It was a weekend for me because I didn't have to work, and the school was over.
Oh boy!
So I had a 4-day weekend. But yeah. Anyways, I'm back. I probably should have mentioned that during the beginning of the show. I'm back.
You could split some of that stuff with me. Honestly, you should have saved it for Friday night so you could
Yeah,
share
I
it with
didn't
me.
plan on using all of it. But I don't know. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, I last week we didn't deliver a full show. It was like only an hour and a half long or something like that. Apart from our regular 2.5 hours. Mainly because I was just recovering from a night. Let's just say it was a night of partying too hard.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, the episode is. So if you like incomplete episodes where Dante is not completely up to strength, then totally watch it.
and speaking of YouTube, for some reason, the episode 15 Cheesy Balls still didn't upload.
Oh, you still have it on the... I mean, you still have the episode.
It's still on Ustream.
Oh, okay.
But
anyways, yeah, we had an episode about
I have
Cheesy
been
Balls.
downloading the Flash version, but for some reason, I don't know if it's just the player that I'm using or what, but there's no audio with them. Could be just the player plugin issue, but
players are really annoying. There's all kinds of plugins you need for them things. Like, sometimes QuickTime player, you need DivX or whatever it's called. That doesn't even have any function anymore because, all you really need is VLC. Like, if you just get VLC, you'll be fine.
Yeah. But anyway,
DivX was the original every kind of codec, but not anymore. So it's just annoying. I used to have it. It's really annoying. It's full of ads and all that stuff.
There's a lot of shit that's annoying. A lot of encoders that are annoying.
Let's see.
And speaking of which, the whole controversy with the GIF format of images.
Oh, yeah.
The original creator of that format said it's pronounced with a soft J.
So it's GIF. I actually did, in fact, see that.
That is retarded because it's an abbreviation for graphics interchange formats. Graphics. It's hard G. Graphics. And it's followed by an I.
Baby, it's a hard G. I could just see some sketch on Sesame Street of them talking about soft G and hard G and being like, baby, I'm gonna show you a hard G. I'm so funny. Anyways, moving on. Apart from I just recently saw a documentary about Jim Henson that was pretty neat. It was talking about, did you know that Jim Henson originally did not want to get into puppetry? He only wanted to get into television. That's it. He did not want to get into puppetry. And eventually he just got a job on a puppet show on TV, and then he started liking it and, got into it. And of course, Jim Henson is one of the creators, or is the creator of the most classic characters known to man.
Why am I in what the...
What?
Look in the IRC, there's two of me for some reason.
Stryker has a doppelganger. Either that or an evil twin. Imagine me stroking a thin mustache.
I am here to ruin my evil twin's reputation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We all have evil twins, don't we? That was one of the mustaches that Rachel Cobbler should have made.
I'm going to reconnect to that.
Okay.
I don't know what the deal is there, but anyway.
Oh, by the way, I love your background. It's a picture of one cheetah licking another cheetah in admiration. It's the best way to describe it without seeing it, but it's freaking awesome. Let's just say that.
I forgot the artist.
Forgot the artist?
But it's somewhere on FA.
Well, yeah.
I
hope it's somewhere on FA.
I have to look it up sometime later. So I can remember.
You know where I haven't been in a long time? The FA forums. Remember how I used to be on there all the time where I would be like, oh, I got a new discussion topic and go on to the FA forums and do it. But now I haven't been on there forever. I just kind of think of the discussion topics on my own. Is that better? Is there two of you still?
It's like I'm logged in on the same machine twice.
That's weird.
That is extremely weird.
You know what's weird?
Wait, now there's just one of me.
You know what else is weird? I can conduct a symphony with this mustache. Da 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 da. Yeah, there's your daily dose of Dante conducting an orchestra. So, anyways, we got another 7 minutes of banter. Oh, there's always something that I want to talk about, but I always forget. Obviously, that's just the way I am, though.
Yes, I'm sure.
You're sure? Well, you're not exactly helping.
Of course not.
Well, you're the tech guy, and you're also the co-host.
I'm fixing things while you distract everybody.
Okay. Oh, here's something cool. Last week and the week before, did anyone notice that there was a Beatles tie hanging back here? I did that last week, 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to see if anyone would notice. Nobody mentioned it. I was like, it's an very obvious Beatles tie that's hanging in the background. No one even mentioned it. I was just waiting for somebody to mention it. Nobody did. It was really upsetting. So yeah. Anyways, so
there we go. That's fixed.
The Beatles tie that I had is actually out in the kitchen right now, but we'll get it during the break. Okay, during the discussion topic, when we start that portion of the show, you'll see the Beatles tie hanging in the background, and then you can see it. But yeah, you know what else? You know what else is funny? Liam Wolf left to look for a job after he just recently graduated, like 2 weeks ago, and he left the picture of his persona here. It's behind my computer over there. Like you see it back there under the monitor.
Mm-hmm.
He left he had a friend draw his persona for him, and yeah, he just left it here. I was like, wow,
and
okay.
On the subject of drawing, we actually need to get a header image, like
of our characters.
Yes,
we do
for both the website and our Facebook.
We really do,
even our Twitter.
Because all we have right now. Well, I mean, it still looks better than just text, but it's like the claw on the claws and Convo, the whatever it is.
That's just our logo.
That's just the logo. But as a header, we need like somebody to draw our characters for us. And I'm okay at drawing. I drew the stuff that you see behind me.
And I draw all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm bored, but
bored with life in general.
It comes in spurts.
Mm. That's the same way as me. Like, I do draw a little bit of anthro art. I mean, I just draw in the style of Jay Naylor, because I love Jay Naylor. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
You know what's really cool? For some of you know who Trey is. He used to be a regular guest on the show, and I actually got him to start reading Better Days, which is my favorite furry comic, and he loves it. Okay. Basically, everyone I've tried to get read this that's not a furry thought it was stupid. They're like, "Oh, what am I reading?" and stuff. So I got Trey into it, and he's just in love with it. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that somebody else likes Better Days. I mean, obviously, all the furries like it. I'm sure you like. Have you ever read Better Days?
I have not.
It's amazing. It's the best furry comic ever. It's
I need to read it.
It's only got 25 chapters, so that can be a good thing and a bad thing. If you get really, when you get really into it, it ends, or you just want to get it over with. But like every other furry comic, it's best read in small spurts, but not all at once. Just like read a couple chapters every once in a while instead of reading it all at once, because it ruins the experience because you have to soak it all in. So, anyways. It's just on jnaylor.com. You should totally read it. It's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, later in the show, one of our discussion topics it actually is going to be, we're going to be discussing furry comics. So we're going to go into more depth about that later. But for now, let's talk about AnthroCon. AnthroCon is coming up in July 4th. Isn't that right?
July 4th. Right around there.
Yeah. It was very close to July 4th at the very least. And me, Stryker, and Hematite Bear, who is watching the show right now, will be at AnthroCon. So if anyone ever had the chance or ever wanted to meet us, that would be the perfect time. And we're also going to be advertising the show quite a bit at AnthroCon, and hopefully we'll get a jump in viewers. And we'll hopefully get more emails.
Can you read that?
Wait, which one?
Either one of them.
Okay, Brew Dude just added us, which is my friend Jacob. Okay. The top one, I think that's the awesome gentleman from Finland that is in the chat with us today. So if he's added on Skype, that would be awesome. Did Jacob Brewitt just add us, or was it a while ago? I'm just watching the stream here, and I looked pretty funny when I leaned in like this. I just do the whole show like that.
It's the leaning and trying to read down a mile away.
Hey guys, what's going on? I got cerebral palsy. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. I apologize.
Can you read that name? I can't read that name. Fallon.
Fallon Jenna McDuncan.
Fallon.
I think it says Jenna McDuncan. Yeah. I don't know. If we got it wrong, I'm so sorry. We're really bad at pronouncing things on the show. We'll be reading it like a news story or something, and we'll just completely pronounce everything wrong. It's pretty funny, actually. But yeah, Brewdude, Jacob Brewitt / Brewdude will be calling us later in the show if he gets the chance, and it'll be an awesome opportunity to talk to Jacob Brewitt, because he is one of the coolest individuals that has ever lived on the entire planet. Eventually, we should link in the IRC or some kind of chat. He's part of a band that I used to be a part of, okay, and he's the lead singer. This was way back when I used to be the lead singer, but I had to go to college, so he took over, and I think he's a lot better than I was, but that's not the important part. Him and my brother, who's the guitarist, did a song, and it sounds so good. They wrote a song, by the way, and it sounds so good that if I didn't know it was them, I would think that it's a mainstream song. It's that good. So eventually I should at least show it to Stryker, because he has an appreciation for metal. It has a metal sound to it, And if you guys want, we'll link it in the IRC later. So you might have something to watch during the 10-minute break right before the discussion topic portion of the show. So I believe that it's time for the news segment. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you scare me.
Sometimes. More like all the time. I live to scare people. I live to frighten. Welcome to my nightmare. Alice Cooper. You ready? Tonight on Claus and Convo. Australian politician attacked by kangaroo. With your hosts Dante Padfoot and Striker Chiguar. This is Claus and Convo News.
And we have a caller.
Oh, what's going on, my good buddy? You are live on Claus and Convo. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, not much. Cooking supper.
Oh, what you eating?
Chicken.
Well, anybody that's eating chicken is cool in my book. Okay, quickly tell us what kind of character you have and just describe your character just a little bit.
It's a Timberwolf and Red Fox hybrid.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. You know, that's
It actually came up because I always did like to hang out with friends and have fun, you know. But then again, there's the wild side in there, so
that's pretty neat.
With foxes being the ones that are always playing around and pranking other people.
Oh yeah.
And wolves being the wild ones, it was like, there you go.
Well, that's perfect. Yeah, I've always appreciated hybrids. I always thought hybrids were like the cooler, you know, the coolest personas out there. So you have my endorsement with your persona. You're quite awesome persona. So, anyways, if later in the show, if there's any discussion topics or questions that you want to ask us, you should totally email us and or post it just in the chat right there.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, you weren't too far off pronouncing my name either.
Oh, cool.
It's a short A instead of a long A.
Okay, so I guess that was the closest we've ever come to actually pronouncing something correctly on this show.
Yeah, it's Fowlin,
Fowlin.
not the other way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll remember that for the future. Anyways, we're very thrilled that you could join us today. We're happy that Claus and Convo is slowly going international. You know, more and more people from.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're about to descend into our.
The first.
What was that? Sorry.
Finland will only be the first.
Next, the world.
You cannot be surprised if you find someone from Germany calling.
Oh, rad. Well, that'll be pretty exciting. We were just doing.
They might just start speaking random German.
Well, we were just doing the German mockumentary or mock language or mock.
Yeah, you were doing the Nazi jokes earlier, weren't you?
Yes, we were. Alrighty. Anyways,
reminds me of a comment on YouTube.
All right. Well, we're about to descend into our news portion of the show. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Not too much. If you want to look up anything about the 4014, that'll generate something.
4014. What's that?
4014.
Okay. I'm like a huge rail fan, so recently the Union Pacific Railway has been able to reacquire the 4014, which is one of 7 preserved 4000 class big boys that are still left in existence.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, we should probably look that up, and you know, if we got some time, we should talk about it.
I haven't heard too much other than that they have actually moved the engine to a different location. Not sure where. I'm assuming Cheyenne Roundhouse.
Mm.
Yeah, moving those things, I imagine, is quite a
Yeah, quite a
thing.
project.
Yeah.
It depends on the condition of the locomotive.
Yeah. Well, that's
I've heard
pretty
a
neato.
couple of stories of Santa Fe Northern that was up in Chicago.
Mm.
They moved that. You would not believe that thing rolled as best. It rolled as easy as the day it came out of the shop.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I've never really delved into the topics of, you know, trains very much, but that sounds pretty awesome, you know.
I watched a documentary not so long ago about they were moving one of these large freighters, large steam freighters from what's basically the southern horn of Africa, all the way back to Scotland, where it was built.
Ooh. That
Not
must
sure
be.
about that one.
That was a daunting trip.
I think so.
would think so.
All right. Well, anyways, it was pretty awesome talking to you. We're about ready to let you go so we can go into our news section. But it was thank you very much for calling. We appreciate it.
All right.
So we'll see you later.
You
And
might find me calling again on a different time.
okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks very much, and
Thanks
we'll
for
talk to you
having me,
later.
Matt.
Later.
All right. Yes, thanks very much. That was. Sorry. How do you pronounce it again?
Fowland.
Fowlin Jenna McDuncan calling from
Fowlin.
Finland.
Yes.
So that was pretty neat. I was really happy to hear from him over all the way in Finland. So, anyways, looks like it's about time to say some news stories. Is everyone ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay. Here's the first news story of the day. Australian politician attacked by kangaroo. Ho! An Australian politician was left hopping, after he was attacked by a kangaroo while on a morning jog in the national capital, Canberra. Mugged by a kangaroo, declared Shane Rattenbury, Australian Capital Territory Municipal Services Minister, on Twitter. Rattenbury was left with deep scratches and bruisings on his leg after the encounter with the bounding marsupial on Thursday morning. Quote, "I'm not sure who got the bigger shock, me or the kangaroo," he told the ABC. He was minding his own business eating some grass. I was minding my own business running. Unfortunately, the kangaroo jumped up, as they do when they're a bit startled, and took a defensive pose, and unfortunately, I came out of it second best with some decent cuts down the back of my leg. Rattenbury had his wounds cleaned and was given a tetanus shot. He later joked on Twitter, "I believe the roo is fine. Escaped the scene quickly, but did not fail to get my watch or wallet for those who were wondering." End of news story.
Link that in chat.
Oh, boy. All right, hold on. I'm going to...
If you can. If you can maintain yourself.
I hope I can. Okay, there's the link in the chat. If you can't see it, it's probably because you don't have links turned on.
They're on.
They're on?
They're on.
Okay.
We got them.
Okay, good. Anyways, yeah, that's a pretty funny news story for the day. I'm always happy when I find news stories like this because they're always really entertaining to read, apart from the normal stuff that we get. So, yeah, I've definitely heard of kangaroos doing this. Like, kangaroos can, stand on their tails for just a split second and use their feet to
boot to the head.
Seriously, injure somebody. So I honestly would not want to encounter a kangaroo. Oh, excuse me. Especially a really angry one. Hold on just a second. All right. Let's see. How would you feel about being attacked by a kangaroo, Striker?
Bring it.
Well, I don't know if a cheetah can a cheetah. That's a good question. Could a cheetah stand up to a kangaroo?
Remember, I'm a hybrid with a jaguar.
Oh,
Jaguar,
well, that's a good
remember
point. A hybrid jaguar might actually be able to rip a kangaroo to shreds.
A cheetah alone would outrun it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. That's pretty cool to think about. That should be a new segment on the show. What like two animals versus, and just be like let's just discuss who would kill who. That would be awesome. I would honestly love to have that on there.
Meanwhile, a fox would be kicked like a football.
What was that?
A fox would be kicked like a football.
Yes, it would. So we'd have to do a fox versus... What is the best thing for a fox to go up against? Because everything would either...
Small rodents.
Well, no, I mean,
rodents.
the fox would either destroy a small rodent to bits, or it would be destroyed by something much bigger than it.
Good match. Probably a wombat
That's not
Or
bad.
A Wolverine.
Wolverine is a good one because foxes are vicious, like more vicious than they actually think they are. Or no, more vicious than people think they are. You know, they're not just the innocent little cute fluffy-tailed creatures that, you know,
Or
they're
honey badger.
like honey badger's a good one that a fox could go up against. But I'm honestly like honey badgers have come up against a bear and take like they didn't you know fight a bear, but they would go up to the bear and just freak the bear out and it would run away. I'm like, you know, honey badger don't care. I was saying that we like to say
Honey badger don't give a fuck.
Hematite Bear says a hamster could kill a fox. And
Ninja hamster.
and a fox would make make short work of a hamster. Looks like there's a bit of debate in the chat room. And Hematite Bear says if it's a ninja hamster. Well, you know, did you ever watch that anime show called Hamtaro?
Yes.
That was an old show, like from the it was like the early 2000s when it was out. That was quite a while ago. Or it was the late 2000 or no, it was the late 90s. I don't remember. But it was a really cute anime show about this little hamster that would go on adventures and stuff. It was so adorable. Yeah, anyways. What if it was a Viking fox? Good question.
Yes.
A Viking fox could stand up to anything.
I just imagine a Viking fox carrying an axe.
Oh, that would be awesome. Somebody make a fursuit out of that. A Viking fox carrying a freaking axe. That would be amazing. Even if it was just a plastic axe, it would look amazing. Wait, is the fox in a dress? What? Why would the fox be in a dress?
Well, that's a very good question. Why would the fox be in a dress? Fox? You should be able to answer that.
Probably because the fox thinks that men dressing up as women is the funniest thing in the world. Monty Python. If anyone has seen Monty Python. Actually, that is pretty funny, honestly.
Eggs, bacon, and spam!
Anyone ever see that one? The skit from Monty Python? Spam, 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 spam. That also has Vikings in it, by the way. Viking foxes. Anyways. Oh, boy. Moving on. Let's go to the video of the deer busting through... You know what? Let's just not even spoil it for everyone. Do you want me to link it in the chat here so you can...
Yes.
Okay. For those of you who see the link in the chat, don't click on it yet, unless you, because we're gonna play it on the stream. So, here's the link. And by the way, Hematite Bear just linked something earlier. I want to find out what that is. So, we can open that up here, and pretty soon we'll. Wait, did he link something earlier? Yes, he did. Let's open it up. Oh, this is the train story that we were talking about earlier. We can look at that later. Anyways, here's a video that we're not going to spoil for you. We'll just let you watch it. I've already seen this, so it's pretty funny.
In Pennsylvania, a bus driver unexpectedly gave a deer a ride. John Porter was driving his bus through Johnstown when a deer, boom, came right through the window.
Oh. I love that they play the footage over and over again.
Into the woods. Quite a shock, I'll bet.
That is a shock.
And then it's just like wandering around the bus trying to find his way. Oh my word.
Look at this again. The deer scrambled around in the bus for a bit until Porter came to a stop and let him out. The deer then took off back into the woods. Quite a shock, I'll bet.
And the deer is completely fine, as far as we can see.
He's a little bit freaked out.
A family of ducks gets the right of way, and it's all caught on a dash cam. Take a look. The officer caught this driver going 52
I think that's
in a
enough.
35-mile-an-hour zone. The pursuit slows down and comes to an end when the officer comes upon a mother duck taking her ducklings for a stroll. Most officers on pursuit would have driven around them. Instead, traffic officer Mark James gets out of the cruiser and ushers the duck family to safety. He returns to his vehicle knowing
that's
he lost
sweet.
the traffic violator, but he did his good deed for the day.
And
Yeah.
hopefully
Betty the
with
dad.
with those conditions, hopefully nobody got hurt, including the driver speeding too much through that section.
Well, anyways, there's your daily dose of holy cow, that was awesome. Right here on your favorite show, Cloud and Convo, with your foxy host that wears a dress and is also a Viking. Oh, man. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I saw that on, I think that was on Equals 3, so that's why I've seen it. But it's blowing up right now. Pretty awesome video. I'm actually really surprised that the deer is completely fine. You know, the deer, honestly, since the bus was going that fast, and it's a freaking bus, so that bus would have shredded the deer, you know.
Oh, the windshield kind of broke its velocity there.
Yeah. So that's good. I mean, it was like the perfect storm for the deer surviving. Like it goes up over the grill and then onto the hood and just goes right through the windshield that breaks its fall and then just, you know, safely lands in the cockpit, whatever it's called, of the bus. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm glad that I found that video. Let's see. Another one that we got. Do you want to read the story that I gave to you, or do you want me to do it again, like post it again?
I'll do that.
Do you want me to do it again, or do you got it?
I'll get it back here.
What does that mean? Get back?
I don't know. Send it to me again. I forgot what I was doing.
Oh, okay. Whoops. That's not what I was supposed. No. Okay. Link. Then go to the RC. There we go. Okay, there's the link. You click link and you read story.
Okay. Man who came in contact with a rabid bat.
Damn.
As it loads.
My internet is having trouble right now. The reason I picked this news story was because it sounded like it was really cool. People going on a manhunt for a guy that got bit by a rabid bat. Like, how cool is it's cool and tragic at the same time. So yeah. Okay, anyways, we got it up, so let's read the story.
Man who came in contact with rabid bats sought by San Bernardino County Health officials. Yes. This is from KABC, San Bernardino, California. San Bernardino County health officials are in the race against time to find a man and save his life. Authorities are trying to track down a man who came in contact with a rabid bat last week.
Oh, man.
San Bernardino health officials said the man was at... Hang on, I gotta play some music in the background.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's the one thing we're missing is the music. As long as it's not too loud, because we don't want to, you know, make everything too loud. Anyways, continue.
Okay. I'll stop mine a minute. There it is.
Okay, that's better.
So where was I? Okay, so San Bernardino County health officials said the man was at the Mojave National Preserve Visitor Center last week when a brown bat landed on his neck. The bat later tested positive for rabies. It's believed the man who came in contact with the bat is in grave danger unless he is treated right away. Rabies is usually fatal if not treated before symptoms occur.
No
Signs
kidding.
of rabies in animals include changes in behavior, general sickness, problems swallowing or increased drooling and aggression. They're also completely terrified of water. Officials have identified the mystery man as a man in his mid-50s. He left the visitor center without revealing his name, but told officials he was heading to Vegas in a British accent.
Okay.
Authorities are hoping to find him right away, as time may be running out. If he has rabies, one of the symptoms of the disease occur once the symptoms of the disease occur in humans, it's usually too late.
That's awful. You know who invented the cure for rabies? Louis Pasteur. The same guy that invented the idea of pasteurizing milk. That's why they call it pasteurizing. Like, getting all the impurities out of it by, I think it was boiling it, something like that.
Heating it up and stuff like that.
But nowadays all commercially available milk is pasteurized, and most farmers will do it before they sell milk too. In fact, I think all farmers do it.
Yeah.
But even farm fresh milk is pasteurized because my family used to have a pasteurizer.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a cooker that was like this big, and you just put the pasture, the milk in it, and anyways. So yeah, little bit of knowledge for you guys, because that's what we do as a regular theme. We educate you in random fields that will never be useful to you. The guy that invented a cure for rabies and the idea of pasteurizing milk, his name was Louis Pasteur. How do I know that, you ask? Because there was a children's book that I read when I was a little kid that talked about Louis Pasteur. Huh. Anyways, completely random, but it was really interesting. About the news story, though, that's... So, wait, did they say that the guy... They saw the bat, like, fly on the guy's neck and bite him?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
So, I mean, I'm guessing they must have seen it, though, if they're worried about it. Because I know they said they saw the bat land on it, but I don't know if they saw him bite it. Or them bite it. He's not Ozzy Osbourne. Felon McDuncan says, Dante, would you all like a music suggestion? Why not? We're always willing to get some new material on the show. So, if you got any suggestions for artists, of course they can't be commercial artists. Like, it has to be somebody who's
we have to have otherwise we have to have the permission to use it.
Yeah. What's the word I'm looking for? Royalty free. It has to be royalty free.
With permission at least.
Yeah.
Not necessarily royalty free, but artists within the fandom pretty much.
Yeah. So anyways, if you're gonna suggest some mainstream artist, then that's not. We've discussed this already. We can't do that because you never know what someone might do to us.
It's the Ustream bots and.
Yeah, they'll detect it and say you can't play that.
Your
kind
channel
of
is
music.
banned and there's no human involved.
And then there will be no more Claus and Convo unless we make another channel and do it more.
Yeah. That's anyway.
They will never stop Claus and Convo as long as we live. Anyways, back to the news story though.
There will be blood.
There will be blood. So what are your thoughts on this man attacked by rabies who went to Vegas and is probably going to spread rabies all over Vegas with a British accent?
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Let's hope so. If there's a zombie apocalypse there, I'd hope that whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Rabies is a lot like zombie type virus.
Yes, it is. In fact, it's very similar.
Yes.
But, Felon McDuncan says he'll keep that in mind. So, yeah, like I said, if you have any furry artists that you'd like to suggest, totally do that. But we just can't have mainstream artists. So, anyways. I don't know why, but I thought this was a funny story. Like, just a guy that got bit by a bat with rabies and just left without even saying anything. Like, he didn't seek medical attention or nothing. He just left.
I just got bit by a bat. Let's go to Vegas.
Who probably had rabies. I don't care.
Oh, yeah, I just got bit by a bat. Go to Vegas.
Nice. Yeah, I should have done that in the first place. British accent makes everything better. You can sound fancy with whatever you're saying. Oh, could I have a spot of tea with your tea and the London and the double-decker bus and the boo and the Queen and the royal family and the crumpets and the... There's a little bit a spot of English for you. I have a friend. Her name is Erin Fraser, and she used to work at Dairy Queen here in Iowa, in the United States, and she convinced like one day she just decided to have a British accent during the entire day, and she convinced everybody in line that she was from Britain, including people from Britain. She had such a good accent that she actually convinced them that she was visiting.
Nice.
Yeah. And I was like, that is so cool, honestly. She's pretty awesome. So let's see. Once we finish with that story, a British man being bit by a rabid bat, let's move on. So we got the Australian politician.
Tell us the story of the politician.
Tell us the story of the politician.
Yes.
We already did. The kangaroo?
That wasn't the... Oh, yes, we did.
We did tell that story.
We did tell that story.
Okay, we do have one more for you. Restaurants Lion Tacos renew exotic meat debate. And in other words, a restaurant is serving lion tacos.
Link.
Oh, yes, we got to link it. So you guys can see. I got to warn you, though, there is an image of lion meat. And if that disturbs you, don't open the link. So, yeah. Let's do this. Okay. A Florida restaurant known for its exotic choices in taco fillings, including beaver and otter. Whoa. Beaver and tray, in other words. Has come under fire for adding lion meat to the menu. The uproar has reportedly spurred the restaurant, Taco Fusion, to pull the controversial filling. Reactions on social media had ranged from those wishing they could sample the $35 lion tacos to calls for an eye for an eye. That somebody did a grammatical error. Would I try lion meat taco? Only if lions are given the option of eating human shish kebabs. Save the lion. I'm serious. This was a quote, by the way. Others made threats via social media, while one man even came into the restaurant and took a swing at the general manager on Thursday, reported the Tampa Tribune.
You know what this story reminds me of?
What?
In episode 13, we had Pharaoh on the show. We were talking about how cheetahs were conspiring with the humans.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, at one point we actually had Pharaoh as a guest on the show.
From
Furcast.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was pretty awesome. Anyways, moving on.
So perhaps the cheetah. What's the one I'm looking for?
Well, I don't know.
I'm thinking of the underground society. I'll think of it in a minute.
Okay, anyways, moving on. Let's see. This is not the first time U.S. restaurants and groceries have offered lion meat legal for sale in the U.S., nor is it the first time people have vented outrage over the offerings. Earlier this year, an Illinois an Illinois state representative tried to ban lion meat from his state. Illinois representative Louis Arroyo.
Illuminati. That's
Illuminati.
it. The cheetah Illuminati has
close enough.
Have conspired with humans to eliminate the lion threat.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what's happening.
The cheetah Nami.
Okay. He believes. No, sorry. Let me get back on track here. Illinois Representative Louis Arroyo's Lion Meat Act would make it, quote, unlawful for any person to slaughter a lion for any purpose, for any reason, any person to possess, breed, import, or export from this state, buy, or sell lions for the purpose of slaughter. That's actually a legitimate thing. Like, I would vote for that. Arroyo says he believes there are at least 2 sites in Illinois selling African lion meat, according to the Associated Press, though the legislator did not identify them by name. Crawford Allen, an illegal wildlife trade expert for the conservation group World Wildlife Fund, says lions are farmed for meat in the United States to sell in restaurants. That is horrible. We have no evidence that lion trade in the U.S. is illegal, he said. Richard Sismer, owner of Sismer's Game and Seafood Incorporated in Homer Glen, Illinois, sometimes buys
U.S. That's a very sizzling name.
It's a very Sismery name. USDA certified lion meat. In his view, Arroyo's proposed lion meat ban is, quote, trying to curtail a choice in what people eat. Quote, he's discriminating against all my customers and everybody who wants to try something new. I don't think this is the right way to go, though. Sismer pointed out that hundreds of thousands of cattle are killed per day while there are far fewer lions killed. Well, that's true. In 2001, for instance, Sismer was able to purchase only 2 lions. Yet, quote, eating carnivores is mostly not a good idea, argued Luke Hunter for president for Panthera, a U.S.-based wildcat conservation group that works with National Geographic's Big Cats initiative. For one, carnivore populations worldwide are dwindling. The African lion is listed as threatened by the International Union for Conservation of Nature and is endangered in Central West African countries. But yeah, that's the main reason to not do this. Same thing as poaching, you know. Though wild lions aren't killed for food, there's a concern that weak or poorly regulated laws regarding the ownership, breeding, and trade of captive big cats in the U.S., in particularly tigers, could fuel the black market for big cat parts. Will Gartshore, Senior Program Officer for U.S. Government Relations at WWF, said in an email, handling wild carnivore carcasses can also be dangerous, Hunter said. Since the predators end up eating so many different animals, they accumulate parasites and diseases. That's very true. In 2007, for instance, a biologist in Arizona contracted primary pneumatic plague after dissecting a cougar carcass and died shortly after. Added Luke Dollar, Grant Program Director of the Big Cats Initiative, quote, while these aren't lions that have a realistic chance of roaming the African plains someday, the use of them for food animals has to be considered ethically questionable. This is a pretty long news story. Exotic meats on the menu. Of course, that doesn't stop some people from consuming exotic meats. In the United States, some people eat legally hunted black bear, which is not considered threatened, Hunter said, especially in late autumn after the animal has foraged all summer. The U.S.-based company Exotic Meats and More sells such oddities as iguana, llama, camel, according to its website. A similar purveyor, By Exotic Meats, offers emu, yak, and snapping turtle, among other animals. Now, snapping turtle is another one that I've actually heard you can eat.
Here's the thing. They mentioned cattle earlier. Cows were genetically engineered for food.
Mm-hmm.
Humans bred them specifically for the purpose of food.
And lions
They did not evolve naturally.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And lions, you know, their species is used to being out in Africa, you know, so they're not meant to be killed and eaten. I mean, of course, I'm not saying that it should be illegal. I'm saying it shouldn't be a big thing, you know.
The thing is, and also, this is another thing that we can really go into.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of hunting predators.
Yeah.
One thing you have to think about is predators are naturally more intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be.
Yeah.
They have to know how to stalk and hunt, and all the prey animals need to know how to do is run. So it would bear to question if predators are indeed so intelligent. Perhaps there may be some degree of sentience that we may not be aware of.
Yes. Exactly. Because you never know. I mean, they can't speak.
I mean, it's been argued that dolphins are extremely intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
They may indeed have some self-awareness.
Mm-hmm. Dolphins are one of the only creatures that have sex for pleasure. Did you know that?
Indeed, I did.
I think it's only humans and dolphins that do that.
Some apes do that.
Oh yeah, that too. I always thought that was freaking awesome. It was like dolphins just get it on just for fun, you know.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And Hematite Bear says, playing Balan Tower Defender and watching the show on 2 feeds can crash my system, but I'm back.
Happen.
Yeah, that can happen. Depends on how good of a system you have, but generally if you watch the show on 2 feeds, that does tend to happen. Habitat Bear
if I were to do that, I'd have my laptop and my desktop going at the same time.
Mm.
Because one system doing 2 things, especially gaming,
that can crash your system.
But anyway,
but Habitat Bear is smart. Like sometimes one of the feeds will go down based on the website or something. No, it's not the website. It's us. So I guess it really doesn't matter that much.
It's always our fault.
It's always our fault. It's usually my internet's fault. My internet is a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Actually, we've recently been figuring out that it's probably just the router. Like if I get a new router and a nicer one, it'll probably work fine. Because the main problem is like the internet is fine. The internet works really fast, but every once in a while it will stop connecting to the Wi-Fi.
That's most definitely a router problem.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my mic. I'm definitely gonna check that out when I get the chance. When I get the money, I'm definitely gonna buy a new router. But yeah, anyways.
It seems like all the new routers are crap.
Yeah.
The router I'm using is an old Linksys.
The one that my family has had for 5 years is the old Linksys router, and it still works fine. Like it has never crapped out. And we got it when we first got high-speed internet or DSL.
Linksys is not going to be around anymore.
Really?
That's what I've heard. It got bought out by I think it was like Cisco or something, and that's going to be horrible. Or not Cisco. Cisco originally owned. Cisco owned Linksys to begin with. I'm thinking of some other company that will probably make really shitty routers.
Okay.
But anyway, back to the thing with the animal self-awareness.
All right. But just a second. Hematite Bear says one of the reasons he does 2 feeds is because they play commercials at different times. That's freaking awesome. That's a good idea.
I just use ad blocker.
Yeah, that's what I use too. But you never know. Sometimes it'll some websites are starting to do this where
they get under the radar.
Pretty
much.
Well, that too. That's happened once or twice. But sometimes there will be a thing that says you have an ad blocker on. This you won't be able to watch the video for another minute and a half, and they basically punish you.
I've seen those.
Yeah, and they say our normal ad is only 30 seconds, but since you have an ad blocker, you have to wait a minute and a half. I'm like, are you freaking serious?
10 hours.
10 hours. Yeah, Hematite Bear, we can get out of sync mainly because you'll have to keep one muted. Whichever one is faster, you can just leave that one. So you have to hit pause and start a few times now and then. Oh, man. Anyways, back to the self-awareness. What we were talking about. Ooh. Fowlin McDuncan he thinks he's found a news article for us. Well, go ahead and post it. We will open it up. And if you want, we can read it on the show if it seems interesting. But yeah, a lot of people do argue that animals do have self-awareness, but they just can't interact.
It's now 8 minutes after 6.
Oh wow!
So it's time for us to take a break.
Well, not yet. Let's just wait until we get another. We might get another news story.
Okay, we'll wait a minute or so.
So, Hematite Bear says if you do it just right, you get a reverb effect that is really awesome. Nice job for discovering all this stuff. I'm proud of you. You can watch the show on 2 different feeds. Reverb. Just when you thought that your day couldn't get any better, you get to listen to Stryker go, ah ha ha, on reverb. How cool is that? So anyways, we'll give you a couple minutes to post the news story. You can just do it. You go ahead and do it in the chat. But yeah, one of our favorite things is people that are watching when they post stuff for us. It's really, I don't know, just the viewer interaction is my favorite type thing.
We feed off the viewer interaction.
We don't have to, like I said,
we don't have to, but it
makes
boring.
the show so much better when we have that. Okay, Fallon McDuncan says, "Hey Dante, might have found an article you might like. Would you like the link to it? Yes, indeed. Please link it. That would be great. We would love to see it. Once we read that, we can go on the 10-minute break and then go into the discussion topic, which is everyone's favorite portion of the show. Well, at least it's my favorite portion of the show. I don't know about you guys, but yeah. So." My sister just texted me, and she is on her first day of work at a grocery store that I've been working at for 5 years, and she just now got a job there. She texted me and said, "This is actually really fun." Like, she was a little bit nervous about it, but now she's apparently having fun, and so I'm really happy for her. Yeah. So, anyways, whenever you're ready, go ahead and post it. We'll give you a couple minutes.
There's like a 10-second delay, 10 to 15-second delay.
Okay, yeah, I realize that.
So I just saw the thumbs up that I gave.
Oh, cool. So, all
So
right.
they should know.
You know something I just realized? If we smell these microphones that we've been talking in ever since we started the show,
Do they smell like coffee?
Actually, I can't smell anything.
Interesting.
It's weird. Like, okay, we've had coffee breath during the entire... Like, we always drink coffee during the show, so we always
Pretty
have
much.
coffee breath. I don't understand why the little thingies don't smell like coffee.
I think they kind of air out.
That's probably true.
Otherwise, without them, it would be embedded into the actual microphone.
Here, I got a little bit of coffee on my finger. I'm going to spread it on there. Okay, here we go. Now it smells a little bit like coffee, but not really.
Just wait till we've been using them for a year.
Then they'll be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll actually be able to detect something on it right now. Because seriously, I can't even smell anything right now. Because, he says Yar can't get the darn thing to post. Well, tell you what, we'll go on a 10-minute break and we'll give you a little bit of time. We'll be back in 10 minutes. But yeah, for those of you who are just joining us, we will be back in 10 minutes to be in the discussion topic portion of the show, which is everyone's favorite part of the show, including mine. So we'll be back. Here's a preview of some of the stuff we'll be talking about. We're going to discuss furry celebrities in the fandom, like people, not celebrities that are furries, people in the fandom that are considered celebrities to us. And we're going to talk about the importance of comics in the fandom and why they mean so much to us. So we're going to get into that discussion, and if there's anything else anyone wants to do, we can bring up the contact info here. If you guys have a suggestion for a discussion topic, or if you just want to email us and say hi, or if you get any specific questions. Oh, wrong one.
Oh, crap.
that's
crap.
the outro. Do you still have the contact info?
It's suicided.
Are you serious? Do you want to bring it up, or do you want to just say the contact info?
I'm going to fix this.
Okay, so
I just
okay.
This wireless keyboard it's touchy.
Okay. Fallon McDuncan says he'll give us the name. Actually, that will help a lot because then we can probably just Google it, and maybe you won't really have to, post the actual link. Yeah, he says you can also post it to the Skype channel. That's totally fine. Yeah, just go ahead and do that. Whichever one works. I think... There, now the mics are working. Okay, sorry. Whenever we don't set it, it sometimes cuts off when we go to a different channel right there. So anyways, if you guys have something you would love for us to talk about, or if you just want to say hi, or if you want to have some questions specifically for us, or if you want to give a shout out, we would absolutely love to hear from you. Send an email to strikepod.studios@gmail.com right there in front of your face. Coming at you faster than the speed of sound, just like Sonic the Hedgehog. And we will keep the inbox for the emails open all the time. So anytime you want to email us, we'll see it, or you could just simply post it in the chat, and we'd be happy to hear from you. Because we always love our viewer interaction, and on top of the stuff we have here, we do love hearing stuff from our viewers and stuff like that. So, Fallon Mitt Duncan, you work on. Oh, my dad's watching and he says nice thermos. Yeah, probably because this is the same one that he has. It's the Stanley thermos.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so we got the link up. Do you want to read that before we go, or do we want to read it when we get back?
Let's read it when we get back.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in 10 minutes. We hope that you can, be somehow entertained. Switch to other tabs, or just listen to the music, because we would love for you all to be back, but we have to rest and think of more discussion topics. So we hope you all will join us in approximately 10 minutes, 6:26 Central Time. So thank you all for joining us. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Stay tuned.
something in my music bumping with my guarantee I'm always doing something in my ball stomping in my bass thumping with my green bottle dose of keys. I be drunk up in my blaze crawling in my haters stalling on my that's alright cause I be ballin' till I'm falling in my all my peoples in they be riding with they wild thing pajama party cause we all wearing you frontin' in your move something in your if you stay on the prowl do some hunting in your do some flirting in your do some pouncing in your go on and asking for a dance if they look sexy and they you start to worry everything's blurry at the after party now you're getting murray purry you know you want to so why you froze up you need no inhibitions no clothes just a Kikarumi, 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 Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. Kikarumi, 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 Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. Kikarumi, 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 Kikarumi. This my Kikarumi. Yeah, this my Kikarumi. Lots of space for my big ego. It's so nice and roomy. Yeah, I'm flossing in my and I'm pulling groupies. Vixens see me in my Kegel. Vixens wanna do me. If you don't like it, sue me. See a bigot, stomp a bigot. That is nothing to me. Got my hood up. Got my tail flicking. Same furry pride. Full field of vision. And I ain't overheating. I stay cooled off. Keep it on the whole convention till I pull it off. Cause I do it big. You can do it too. This is how we wreck shop without a fursuit. Kikarumi, 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 Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. Kikarumi, 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 Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. See, I can wear it on the street. They can see the real me while they see the real me. This is who I'm gonna be. You can wear it on the street. They can see the real you while they see the real you. This is who you're gonna be. We can wear it on the street. They can see the real me while they see the real me. This is who we gonna be. Y'all can wear it on the street. They can see the real you while they see the real you. This is who y'all gonna be. Kikarumi, 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 Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. Kikarumi, 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 Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. That's my Kikarumi. Kikarumi, 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 Kikarumi. It's official. This Kikarumi feels awesome. Thank you, Sai. But at the end of the day, you know what? I kinda like my fursuit. In fact, I like my fursuit so much, I think I'm gonna get a new one. And I want a full this time. Now what I gotta do to get a full fursuit, man?
Cat beering, the perfect new web meme. Oh, that's funny. You want me to read it? Okay. Okay, so go ahead and start
it. Okay, we are back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't see you walk in. You're looking fine today. Welcome back to the one and only Claus and Convo. Congratulations, you have reached our discussion topic portion of the show.
But first,
we have a news story posted by Mr. Fallon McDuncan. Thank you very much. This is one this time we don't have to do the news segment. This is, and it's linked in the chat room right there if you want to check this out. And this is called Cat Bearding, the perfect new web meme. It was only a matter of time. Love of cats and fascination with facial hair have joined together and become one exceedingly popular furry web meme, the cat beard. Basically, it's where you position your cat in front of your chin and, well, voila. The craze has even resulted in a handy how-to video. As you can see, no cats are harmed in the making of the cat beard, although some felines may get slightly annoyed by the process. The Tumblr blog called WhatElseCatBeard.com has collected a range of cat beard pics from the vertical and expertly positioned so that the cat's mouth becomes your mouth to the horizontal. Mashable points out that the cuter and smaller the cat, the more rugged the beard. It's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, that's a pretty neato thing. Memes are quite awesome. Oh boy. But yeah, there's a link right there in the chat. You should probably click that because it shows the pictures if you don't, if you can't see them. It's pretty freaking funny, actually. Let me get some more coffee here. Boop doop doop. Doop doop doop. Okay. Let's start the discussion topic, shall we? Discussion topic portion of the show, we're going to begin by saying, let's discuss furry music and all forms of furry entertainment. And by that, I mean, okay, if you look on Fur Affinity, it's not just artwork. People post music, demos for music, and they also post poetry and stories. Pretty freaking awesome, if you ask me. So, the furry fandom is not just limited to
just the visual artwork.
Just the visual artwork, not just pinups. So it's
porn.
Not just porn. There's all kinds of stuff in the fandom. Every kind of entertainment you can think of, there's a furry version of it. And we've gone into discussion about. Oh, by the way, I gotta throw the card. We've gone into discussion about performing arts in the furry fandom. But this is like a kind of a different genre. It's like the online entertainment where people can access it online. And furry art. I guess people posting videos of furries doing dancing stuff, performing arts is in that category. So yeah. I guess but
it just goes right along with fursuiting.
Oh yeah, exactly. And if you look up,
it's the most visual thing that the fandom has.
And somebody I talk about a lot, Duke the Dancing Dog.
Oh yeah,
on YouTube does a lot of stuff. He just recently did like a cover, not only just a cover, but a complete choreographed dance at Midwest Furfest 2012 of him and like a group of like 100 fursuiters doing this.
Yeah,
and it was insane. Eventually, we have to show this on the show because it's incredible. I saw this right when it came out, though. It was a while ago, but stuff like that in the fandom is really awesome because people, the stereotype is that furries, the only thing they're into is artwork. And while artwork is a huge, huge part of the fandom, like we wouldn't be the same without artwork, but it's not all that the furry fandom has to offer. I've read some furry stories, and Kyle Gold is the most famous furry author who was recently, nominated for the 50th time for an Ursa Major Award, and he turned it down because he gets nominated so much that he wanted to give somebody else a chance. And I thought that was really nice of him. We mentioned that like 10 episodes ago. It was a long time ago. But yeah, there's furry artists out there that do this. Like I said, specifically Kyle Gold, who's the most popular. And they're legit stories. They're really awesome. If you go to a convention and go to the dealer's den, you'll see artists and poets selling their stuff, mostly authors of books that sell their books there, and they can sign them and stuff like that. And it ranges from, some of it is erotica, which is pretty, which is...
get a special binder for that.
Yes, you do. They have special binders for that. I mean, I don't think there's pictures. I think it's like, just the art, just like 50 Shades of Grey, like that,
Yeah.
It's like that, and but most of the artwork is specifically just awesome fantasy stories. It doesn't have to be porn. Like I said, the fandom is full of a lot of things, and the stereotype is that it's all full of porn, but that's not true.
Yeah.
It just seems to be the one that shows the most because that's what people are most disturbed by,
Sex
obviously.
sells. Sex sells.
Sex sells better than, boring old fantasy stories. But, fantasy stories obviously have better quality to them. And it's pretty awesome seeing that. The stuff that people can come up with, this furry stuff.
Furry music is kind of underrated. You don't really hear too much about it.
Oh, yeah. That's something I was going to delve into next.
Yeah, there's plenty of musicians on Furfinity and all those other sites. The thing is, though, you go on Furfinity, you don't really have time to listen through a whole song. You just want to look at your porn and be done.
Basically, my trips to Furfinity. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple artists I am subscribed to on Furfinity that upload, songs. Specifically, a guy that I mentioned, Rhubarb the Bear. I mentioned him a couple times. I met him in person, and then I looked him up on Furfinity, and he does some of the best music. Like, it's not just techno that someone can sit at their computer and make. He does piano. Like, he plays piano and sings into a microphone, which is really cool because 90% of the furry music is stuff mostly made on a computer. Which is it's not bad or anything, but it's...
a lot of trance, electronica, and...
Yeah, and I do like that
rave.
kind of stuff, but it is really nice to see someone doing the old-fashioned stuff, So, because I believe that we shouldn't ever lose, the original definition of music.
Real instruments are...
Yeah, no matter how far into technology we get, I think that we should maintain our... at least have some kind of music in the world where we actually play real instruments and sing without the aid of auto-tune.
Then, of course, there's Bucktown Tiger, who actually plays piano in fursuit with paws and everything.
Yeah, if that isn't cool, I don't know what is. Rhubarb the Bear, this is like the 50th time I've made that mistake. Rhubarb the Bear, his fursuit is made specifically so that his fingers are cut out underneath the paws.
Yeah.
Like, this is the fursuit here, and it goes over, but underneath, his fingers are exposed.
Bucktown's suit is made the same way.
Yeah, and, they made it that way, obviously, so that he could play guitar, and he does that. He did that in the Fursuit Parade, MFF 2011.
That's cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And then, of course, you get the artists that can't really find on FA, but they are another place like Bandcamp, such as Tiara and Sam, which you're hearing in the background right now.
Very nice, very nice. But yeah, there's a whole range of artists in the fandom, and I think people should people should really delve into that more than they do now. Like, obviously, well, I guess artwork is my favorite form of art, like in the fandom. My favorite form of expression, I should say.
But I think the harder thing about doing music is especially if you're doing some other non-electronic stuff. You're probably going to be looking for a band to unless you know how to play every instrument and you actually own every instrument and you can play it.
Speaking of a band,
but yeah.
So
I've been trying to get a power metal band together for a very long time.
It's called Warcat.
Warcat, yes.
That's a really cool name.
It's part of the hard thing is, it's very hard to find other musicians in the area.
Yeah, I mean, you live in Centerville, and there's not many people around there.
Even when I lived in Ottumwa, I couldn't find anyone who actually took it seriously. Or
yeah, that's the problem. Like, if you actually got this together, I think it would really take off.
Yeah.
And just like start posting stuff on Fur Affinity, stuff like that, and add to the the actual realism of the what am I trying to say? Hold on.
Take your time.
The non-technical stuff of
add to
music.
the flavor. Add to the
yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to say.
You just
yeah, because like most of the music in the fandom,
there are a few metal bands out there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Sweet.
There's one I can think of. I can't think of the name right now, but Trap Paw. That's it.
Okay.
Called Trap Paw.
Nice. And are they on Fur Affinity too?
I believe they are. You can find their music on there.
Okay, doke.
And then there's another one I can't quite think of that changed its name. They changed their name recently, but it's another guy that I follow on FA, and their band is also on Fur Affinity.
Alright.
Yeah, there's metal bands are on there.
That's
if
pretty
you
cool.
Look for them.
That's
and I'm hopefully I can, as I try to reboot my search for, a drummer, a bassist, a second guitarist, maybe even a keyboardist, I don't know. Hopefully, as I move to Bloomfield, hopefully I can find somebody within driving distance.
I think you'd have to probably go to Cedar Rapids for that, which, by the way, Cedar Rapids, Iowa is like the furry capital of Iowa. Most every furry I know lives in Cedar Rapids or near Cedar Rapids.
There is, I do remember there's someone whose name is Vinny.
Vinny.
He's like up in northern Iowa.
Okay.
He's about 4 hours.
Yeah, that's a pretty far drive, actually.
for a regular practice, anyway.
Is it really that far away, though? Because I remember going, when my family and I go to Minnesota, it doesn't seem that long when we get to the border of Minnesota, and we're going north. We just passed Clear Lake, Iowa, which is where Buddy Holly died. And we passed that pretty quick.
You could drive like a bat at hill, and you get there in like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true.
But that's a lot of gas.
Yeah. But, going back to the metal in the fandom, I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
That, because like I said before, 90% of the music in the fandom is techno, which, I said, I don't have a problem with techno. I think it's cool.
Techno, trance, rave.
But I think there's a little...
people might get offended if you just lump it all into techno, because there are just different styles.
There's different forms
of electronic type stuff.
That's true, but I guess what I'm trying to say is 90% of the music in the fandom is not created with actual instruments.
Maybe 75%.
Okay, maybe I'm just making up a bullcrap estimate. Hemtype Bear says, "I'll have to
we're
go."
assholes.
Hematite
Yes.
Bear will have to catch the show later tonight. Yeah, well, that's what, the reason we put it up is so people can watch it later.
Yeah.
We put it up on Ustream. So, oh well. At least you can see it, and at least you don't completely miss it. So,
well, we're glad to have you this far with you.
Yep, we're glad to have you as usual. So, thank you very much, Hematite Bear. You've been an awesome guest as usual.
See you around.
And then, okay, let's see. Do you want to just move on, or do we think we've covered this?
I think I had something else to add to it, but I forgot what it was. So let's move on.
Okay.
But anyway, I remember this. So, if anyone actually knows anyone within maybe like 50 miles or so of Bloomfield, Iowa, give or take, or within driving distance of Bloomfield, Iowa, who can play power metal, interested in an original power metal band, just get a hold of me. My contact information is on the closetandconvo.blogspot.com. It's on the contact page. So
if you can't contact us, you're not trying hard enough. And obviously you're blind, because we always flash the contact information.
Yes.
So, anyways. You ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay.
On a side note, I'm considering doing some collaboration. So, is that,
Okay. You ready for this?
Okay.
Okay, next discussion topic. Let's discuss furry celebrities. Oh, let's see. Furry celebrities.
Let's name some right up the top of our heads.
Oh, wait. Before we continue, Fallon McDuncan has something to say about the music thing that we just finished. Okay. Well, he says, there seems to be a resurgence. I think that's how you say that.
A resurgence.
Resurgence in other music types within the fandom. I prefer the older songs such as classic rock and bluegrass. My kind of man. That's right. I love that stuff. I love old, classic rock and bluegrass. Anyways, yeah, imagine a furry bluegrass band. That'd be so awesome. Okay. Yeah, anyways, I completely agree with you. Let's move on. What were the ones you were going to mention?
Okay, so celebrities.
Furry celebrities.
We can all pretty much name them right off the top of our heads.
Some of the more popular ones.
There's two, the Ranting Griffin.
Oh yes,
a
definitely.
comedian.
He is quite funny.
He used to do music.
He did?
Yeah.
I never heard about that.
He was a musician. I don't know if he still does that kind of on the side or not, but his career has pretty much shifted him into being a full-time comedian.
Well, comedians or musicians that turn comedian, a lot of the time they'll take a guitar and sing a song, a funny song on stage. He should do that.
Yeah.
I've never seen him do anything. I've seen a lot of his performances, and I've never seen him do that.
I believe he did the intro for the old 2 Cents show.
The what?
2 Cents.
2 Cents?
The webcast that he did with Jibba.
Oh, I see. I never even heard of it. So.
I see. And you call yourself a cultured furry. You have no idea.
I don't know everything. I'm kind of cultured in the fandom. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not as much as you guys.
Anyway. So, to the
Ranting Griffin.
Who does some awesome charity shows with Uncle Kage.
Yes, indeed.
Who runs Anthrocon.
And he does more than that.
He's a storyteller.
He's like the best storyteller ever.
Indeed, he is.
Oh man, I Midwest Fur Fest 2011. I saw him and Kage do, all they did. This is the planned show. They sat up there on stage with alcohol, and they were raising money for a charity. It was like a charity auction, okay. And they sat up there and raised like thousands of dollars just by talking up there with alcohol in their hands. It was so great. It was like one of the best moments in the fandom I've ever witnessed. And, it was just the two talking up there. Like, it's hard to describe it. It was so funny.
If you ever get a chance, just go on YouTube and search for 2 Kage
Charity auction.
charity show, or
something like that. It's pretty funny.
Charity act or whatever.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
Anyways, Kage is pretty freaking awesome. He tells, like you said, he tells the best stories. That's what he's really known for. But he is also known as basically the spokesperson for the entire fandom. Like what he says about the fandom.
He just kind of fell into that role.
Yeah, he did. I mean,
crap.
he's. Yeah. He was telling the story about how he became the chairman of Anthrocon. He goes there one year, and he goes to just this convention, and he comes out. He's chairman. He's like, "Yay, I'm chairman!" Wait, what? So yeah, this.
Crap.
He kind of just falls into these things, but he still enjoys doing them, and people still enjoy watching him. Like I said, the reason people love him is because he's such a good storyteller, and it's hard to describe, but you just have to watch him to know. Like Uncle Kage, Kage, he's pretty awesome.
And and then of course you've got your other artists and writers and fursuit makers and all that.
Oh yeah.
And the coolest thing about a furry celebrities within the furry fandom is that they're just one of us. You can just go up to them anytime, hang out, have a beer,
Exactly.
There is no divide there.
Mm-hmm.
None.
And this is exactly what I was going to delve into, where these celebrities, so-called in the fandom, okay, you can see the videos of them, you can admire them from a distance, just like you do with regular celebrities, watch funny videos of them. However, the difference is the furry fandom is small enough and the community is strong enough that if you go to a convention with them, like with a convention that they're at, you can meet them. Like there's a guarantee that you can just walk up to them and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like to the Renton Griffin, like the guy we were just talking about. I had like a half-hour discussion with him about his material, and it was a good conversation. And this is a celebrity in the fandom. Like I was so happy.
He has after his scheduled slots, or is it at a convention or whatever,
he'll just go to the dealer's den and sell his stuff.
There's something known as the Secret Show.
The Secret Show? Why, whatever are you talking about, Mr. Stryker?
Well, it's where he completely shifts from a comedian to being to telling. You get to really know who he is.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's really a normal person.
If you go to his site, rantinggriffinstudios.com, he does this thing called Radio Free Potato, and it's basically just like the Secret Show, where we're going to it's real deep personal conversation with the whoever sticks around.
That's cool. Honestly, I should do that sometime because, like I said, I talked to the guy and he's amazing. Like this also goes along the lines of furries that have same thing with actors. Actors will create a character in their minds and they will become that character. Same thing happens to furries. Happens to me involuntarily sometimes, where you'll literally just you'll become a different person.
Yeah, they'll be the stage persona.
Yeah, his
the regular
persona.
Show. Oh, but then when the show's over,
he's a normal person.
Yeah. And like I said, in the Sheep Show, we're all going into very deep personal conversation.
Yeah. And like, to the Renton Griffin, he'll go on stage and he'll be like, oh, this and America sucks and all this stuff. It's actually kind of funny the way he does it. I'm not trying to bring him down or anything. But like, he...
Like, for example...
He'll do this rant,
Then after then...
As soon as the show's over.
Yeah, like, there's one episode of the Radio Free Potato, and it's probably a topic that you went into on more than one occasion for one of the secret shows. But, we went into telling the tale of how he left the religion from being a Christian preacher to becoming an agnostic and eventually becoming an atheist.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's kind of deep conversations that happen during. during the secret show.
I need to check this out sometime.
Yeah.
But moving on, another celebrity in the fandom that we all love is Jay Naylor. You know, who, like I said before, who doesn't like Jay Naylor?
I'll get a link up here in a second.
Okay. Jay Naylor is another guy that I still haven't met him because I haven't caught him at a convention. Like, the one I did go to, he was there, but I never saw him. But eventually, you know, Jay Naylor's one of those guys that, you know, he does this. He's like the most popular artist ever in the fandom, and you can still just walk right up to him and be like, you know, hey, what's going on? And he'll have a normal conversation with you, you know, stuff like that. I mean, that's what furries like to do because the community is so strong.
Okay, I'm going to link to his site here.
Okay.
Look.
There's a link right there if you want to check out his website, To the Renton Griffin. He's pretty awesome. So, let's see. Do we want to move on? Because I think this topic has been stretched a little bit too much.
You can never stretch a topic too much.
I don't know. Do you want to just move on, though? Because I think I've talked about it mostly. You know, we just mainly wanted to mention that the community is strong enough. You know, that the celebrities are easy to talk to, you know, in person. They don't have a idea that they're better than you. You know, it's not like that. Okay, moving on. How come the fandom is so hard to describe to a newbie? And by this,
and mundane.
and by this, I guess I could further ask the question by saying that I should have wrote this on the card because I'm thinking about it now. But like, I could rephrase that question by saying, how come the fandom is so different how come it's defined differently by different people, and that's why it's hard to describe to one person, you know, because for one person it's their lifestyle, and for another person it's just a hobby, and for another person it's a psychological thing, you know, and you know, for me it's always been a combination of all three of those. But to somebody that has never heard of it before, they'll say, what is this furry thing? It usually takes me a long time to explain it. And that's going to be one of our discussion topics later, is how advice to people who want to describe the fandom to somebody just really quickly and just give them a quick rundown. That one will be, you know, you can give them a very brief description, but the furry fandom is so much, like, it's really deep. It's not just a fandom. It's so much more than that, and it's really hard to describe that to somebody that doesn't understand the concept of it, you know, that has just now heard about it. Of course, you know, the thing that separates us from bronies is that furries are focused on an idea and a psychological, you know, a psychological interaction between your character and yourself, all this stuff.
Hold on.
All this jazz.
No. And see, bronies can have, like, the psychological thing, too.
I'm sure they can.
The thing is...
It's the same as the furry thing, though.
The thing is that furries don't give a fuck about Hasbro.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of furries that are really into My Little Pony, and they just like to do... Like Thane.
Well, that's beside the point. You know...
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, though?
I do.
We don't need it. Some company to put out something.
Well, yeah, because
we don't feed off of a single brand. We are our own brand.
That's exactly what I was gonna say too. Where the thing that separates us from bronies, everyone just categorizes us together. You know, but bronies can easily be described because they're not too deep. They're just basically people that are obsessed with My Little Pony.
Yes, but back on the subject of why is it so hard to explain? Well, it's number one. It's just so outside of what's often described as normal. But another thing is, it's just like you said. It's just so broad.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ranges of it. You know, like there's Therianism, which actually we should have mentioned that before I closed it. No, I didn't close it. Guys, I'm about to link something in the chat for you. This is a documentary that just came out that has the cast of the crew of Furcast on it, and it's a documentary about Therianism. And yes, indeed, it has, like when we had Pharaoh on the show.
I think I might have linked this on a previous episode.
Oh, you did.
But we can go ahead and
we can go ahead and link it again for people that
again.
Don't have it. But yeah, this is a documentary that we can. We don't have to read the article, but we'll just link it right there for anyone that wants to see it. This is a link to the Furry News Network article.
I'll drop this into the
IRC
post.
Okie doke.
On the blog.
Oh, okay, cool. But you can go onto this, and it's a 40-some minute documentary on YouTube, so it's not like a huge thing, but it's what was I trying to say? I don't know. I just had a brain crash, brain freeze, whichever one you call it. Anyways, so that one. After we get past this, what do we want to? We got to delve more into this topic because this is the big one for today. But yeah, the way I describe it to somebody,
and to add on to it, I've often compared the furry fandom to the subculture behind heavy metal, because there's sort of the same thing going on where it's sort of self-perpetuating. It comes from within,
and it's not mainstream.
Yeah, and there's also, in addition to that, there's also how it's just extremely broad. The common person who might not know much about metal might hear it and automatically think of say death metal or screamo or something like that.
Yeah.
When there's actually there's actually a chart you can look up that just a flow chart of the evolution of metal, and there's hundreds of subgenres of heavy metal.
Exactly.
Power metal, hair metal, progressive, new metal, just to name a few. There's just lots of form. It comes in many forms.
Oh yes.
But we're all pretty much united in our trade,
which is exactly the same definition as the furry fandom.
Pretty much, yes.
And
there's the same sense of community.
But yeah, it's really cool to just delve into this subject. Like
I could just recently one of the guitarist for one of the larger, more well-known metal bands. Someone broke into his home and stole a bunch of guitars off of his wall, and everyone in the frickin' world was pissed off. There was a manhunt.
That's funny.
Huge manhunt.
Just like the manhunt for the guy that got bit by a rabid bat and didn't seek medical attention.
Except with the opposite intention.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. That's gonna be just a regular joke now. Like, that is so funny. I know it's not supposed to be funny, but it is. Like,
it is.
It's so funny. Just a guy. For those of you who just tuned in, we just read a story recently, and read the news story about a guy that was headed to Vegas with an English accent. That's all I know about this guy. And they witnessed him get bit by a bat, and then later they tested the bat, and it was positive for rabies. So now they're trying to find this guy before he dies, and he never he didn't seek out medical attention or nothing like that. And
it's recorded. You can watch it if you missed it.
Yeah. If anyone wants to see that news story later, we do have the episodes recorded.
Yes.
But anyways, that's going to be a recurring joke. I just chose this news story because it was just the concept was so funny. It said manhunt for a guy that possibly has rabies.
You are incredibly amused by this.
Yeah.
Excessively.
I don't know why. Like, it's kind of funny. Moving on. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, I guess there's not too much more to talk about with this. But, the fandom is so broad, it's hard to describe it in one single sit-down, because, like I said before, there's a lot of people that consider it a psychological thing, and most people are in it just for the artwork. They're like, oh, the artwork is cool, so I'm just going to become a furry and create my own character. for some people, it's a way to make friends and socially interact because they can't normally do it otherwise because everyone's so cruel and cold-hearted. But not the furry fandom. Like, they'll welcome anybody that's willing to, have fun with them.
Yes.
Which is why, they'll do fursuit bowling and stuff like this, which we went over 2 weeks ago, was, why do furries bowl so much? And it's because it's an easy way to interact with other people, and it's an easy game that you don't have to be good at.
Yes.
It's like a really nice social event, and it's just kind of become a tradition in the fandom to have monthly bowling meets, and a lot of people bring their fursuits. And it's a pretty nice show for all the people in the bowling alley that don't know what a furry is, and they just see these people in costumes bowling. It's just like, okay. I don't know what's going on, but it's cool. But anyways, yeah, it's a nice thing to delve into. There's so many different subjects you can get into with this, but we'll try not to spend too much time because we do have a couple other discussion topics. Actually, the next one we got to do, because this is building off of what we just said, what is the best way to quickly describe what a furry is? This one,
people who love the anthropomorphic animal concept. Essentially, yeah.
Because no matter how much disagreement there is on the definition of furry, every furry will agree that there is some fascination with anthropomorphic animals within the fandom, and that's what really at the core defines what a furry is. And like we said, I've said this many times, but the actual history of the fandom is,
deep.
When it first started, that's all it was just a group of people that thought the anthropomorphic idea was really cool, and they started doing all this and stuff. Jay Naylor started in the late 80s, so he was one of the early ones. And I actually, on the Urban Dictionary, I have the definition of furry up here right now.
There's actually a very nice description on Wikipedia.
Oh, yes, there is.
Probably, yeah.
But on here, on the Urban Dictionary's official definition of the furry is, there is no one single definition of what a furry is. Even within the fandom, people cannot always agree on just what makes a furry a person a furry or not. And this is, something we've talked about earlier on what actually makes a person a furry. Some people would argue that to be a furry, you must think and talk like one, i.e. use furry specific words and phrases. Which
are you going to read that whole thing?
Okay, I'll just
breeze. Furries.
I'll just breeze through it. All right. Don't give me that look. Even if you go to conventions, wear a fursuit, draw art, write stories, etc., but don't talk using furry lingo, you're not a furry. Basically, someone that may walk the walk but doesn't talk the talk. I kind of disagree with that. Then the person goes on and says, the way I see it, if you don't consider yourself a furry is a matter of personal opinion. Exactly what I did say when we did go into this subject. When we said, what actually makes a person defined as a furry, and my official answer was whether the person says they're furry or not. That's what it is.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. It's the person's own personal definition, But, yeah. Is there something you want to read? Because I can see that look on your face like you got something.
No, I was just going to say that's a very long way of describing for a very short definition requirement.
That's true. But, we got to deliver to our viewers. But yeah, let's see. Okay, here's the way, answering the question. The way that I describe it to people, just imagine you are a person that has never heard of the furry fandom, and somebody will say, what is a furry? And I will say, this is what I say to them. The furry fandom is, at the very core of it, it's a group of people that are fascinated with and are in love with anthropomorphic animals, and they use this, they express this love for anthropomorphic animals any way they possibly can, and the most common form is artwork. However, there is there is a lot of speculation among the fandom on what exactly defines a furry, because it's actually a lot deeper than that, because it goes into the psychological aspect. So, the concept of being a furry is really deep, but at the very core, it's a love for anthropomorphic animals, and, people create characters and use these to interact with people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I describe it to new people, that have never heard of it. So that's just, that kind of branches off of what we were talking about earlier. So, do we want to move on, or do you want to say something else?
Let's move on.
Okay.
What we got?
Let's discuss international furries.
International, yes.
By this, I mean how many furries there are in the world, not just the United States. It's come accustomed to people.
They're freaking everywhere, man.
They are freaking everywhere. Like,
and there's a huge community over in London.
Mm-hmm. And there's an almost as big community in Russia. Like, Russia's one of the biggest furry, population.
I watch a lot of Russian artists on Fur Affinity.
Wolfie Nail. I think he's Russian, isn't he?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that he's Russian. I remember hearing that at one point. But anyways,
I don't think I watch him, but I watch a lot of other artists, and they're really good.
But if you look up on WikiFur, all the list of furry conventions, official furry conventions, a lot of them are in Russia. Like, an actual big minority of them are in Russia. I mean, obviously,
and then there's the German.
Oh yeah, there's another one.
That's where Eurofurence is held.
Yes, Eurofurence is like one of the most popular.
I think they recently merged with another con.
Oh really? So it's like
recently,
even bigger.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's cool. If they, I don't know. It might be another convention I'm thinking of, but I think it might have merged with Eurofurence.
Well, that's pretty cool. That'll help them out in attendees.
It's like the second largest. The first being Anthrocon.
Oh yeah, definitely. But to the Renting Griffin, who we were talking about earlier, I remember seeing an interview with him, and somebody asked him, "What is your favorite furry convention you've ever been to?" And he said Eurofurence. He said it's not the biggest, but it's the best. Like, flat out the best convention. And of course, that's where Room 366 was filmed. I know you want me. No, you won't ya. Okay. Anyways. Eurofurence is like, considered the best community-wise when it comes to the furry convention. So yeah, furries are all over the world. Like, I've talked to some that are in Australia, and like we said, in Germany's a good one. London is one of the biggest ones. I think London is just after America.
Yeah.
On how many furries there are, and it's pretty sweet. Just thinking about furries all over the world. It's pretty neato. Do you want to move on, or do you think we've...
Onward!
Onwards
and upwards.
Okay.
Yes.
And here's the one that I anticipated. Let's talk about why comics are important in the fandom. Also, what are some of your favorites? All right. Well, we can start off with just mentioning some of our favorites. Obviously, I said earlier in the show, my all-time favorite is Better Days, because I freaking love Jay Naylor. Like, I love all of the characters he's created, and his characters are so well designed that they seem real. And that's the heart and soul of a good comic. And there's also, Furthia High, which is it's a pretty cool comic, but it's not, it's not the best. It's something that's really very entertaining, and also the characters are well designed in Furthia High. Yeah. And there's let's see, there was one that I used to read that was like it was like a bunch of cats in a southern, Lackadaisy Cats.
Lackadaisy, yes.
That's a good one that I used to read. It's
like a Prohibition era.
Yeah, it's Prohibition era, and the characters are great. Yeah,
it doesn't get updated very often.
That's made people's complaint,
But it's a great comic nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Fallon McDuncan says, my guess, the total furry population, 18,000 plus. That sounds like a good estimate. Because, Anthrocon has around 5,000 or 6,000 people, but most people cannot even make it to all of the conventions. I mean, most of the furries don't even go to conventions. They're just registered online as a furry, and they just kind of keep quiet about it, stay at home. But the ones that are really active are the ones that go to conventions. So yeah, that's not a bad estimate right there, actually. I have heard some people say that they estimate there's a roughly 20,000, and the number keeps changing, but in general, that's around how much there is. Between 10,000 and 30,000. So that's pretty cool. But back to the comics. Lackadaisy is a good one. What's another really good one?
Two Kinds.
That one I never heard of.
You never heard of Two Kinds?
Nope.
Well, it is an awesome comic.
Remember, I'm not that cultured in the fandom.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't read that. Of course, Original Life is a good one, but that's just a spin-off of Better Days. And it's Better Days was a more dramatic comic. Like, it had deep dramatic situation and tension between the characters. And Original Life is a more comedic one that was branched off it. That's really not that serious, but it's very funny. Like, it's pretty funny. I like that one.
One of my favorites, which I haven't really read much lately, but I should get back into it, is Jack.
Oh, that one I have heard of. The artwork style for Jack is incredible.
Yeah.
Like
it's dark, but it's very well written.
Yep. Real quickly, Fallon McDuckin says, Stryker, do you happen to know a website called Fur Nation?
I do know it.
Of course you do. Do you actually have an account on it?
I do have an account on it. I haven't really been on it much, but I'm on there.
I do have an account on there. I mean, obviously, because you were led here by my post on there, but I really only maintain it on there just so that I can post links to this, to our show, on there, and hopefully get some more viewers. Because pretty soon we're going to be doing a Fur Affinity ad, and we'll hopefully get a jump in viewers after that. But in the meantime, the best we can do is just posting the link on sites and stuff like that. But yeah, we were both into I used to be a lot into Fur Nation. I used to post a lot, but I don't know. It's kind of gone downhill for me. Like I said, I just keep up to date a little bit sometimes. But anyways, furry comics. Is there any other ones we should mention?
Panther.
I never heard of that one.
I actually met the writer, Darren McCroy,
cool.
at MFF last year.
Nice.
Yeah,
and another one,
awesome.
House Pets. I forgot about that one. House Pets by Rick Griffin. I did meet Rick Griffin at Midwest Fur Fest 2011, and I got to sign like the first half of the comics, the first 2 volumes of House Pets in printed form, signed by him. It's pretty neato. But yeah, that's another comic. It's really funny.
There's 2 more that I follow, they're done by the same guy, Amity and Sanctuary.
Mm-hmm. Sanctuary I have heard of. But yeah, the reason, I guess, next part of the question.
He used to an older comic you might have heard of as Sandusky.
That one I did hear of, actually. But yeah, the reason that comics are so alive in the fandom is because we don't have very many movies. We don't have... this is our form of mainstream entertainment. Like, people...
It's like stories come alive in the comic.
Exactly. And, it's one thing to have artists create... one of the most popular... This is going to be kind of taboo to mention, but one of the things that porn artists do is they'll create a character that's like a porn star, and they'll just put this character in all of their, pinups and stuff like that.
That a character like that tends to become just a shallow sex thing.
Exactly. And then
there's
the comics.
Just nothing to him.
Hold on.
This character.
Excuse me. The comics are the opposite, where the comics will take a character... Actually, sometimes it branches over from porn to comic, like Better Days did. The original reason Jay Naylor started Better Days was because Fisk, the main character of Better Days, used to be his porn star, like the one that he made, because he used to just be a flat-out porn artist, didn't really do anything else. So he decided to tell the story of Fisk's life, and it ended up branching into this massive, elaborate comic that is genius. Like, it absolutely is my favorite because it is so beautifully done. Like, the characters are so very well designed. But, stuff like that.
It's not necessarily the porn.
Yeah.
But
just people that like to draw one character, you know.
Sometimes if after someone like just draws a character long enough, and you kind of it kind of gets to telling a story about the character.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way, it's almost like a very drawn out comic.
Nice. Yeah, that's exactly right. Hold on just a second. But yeah, comics, the reason they're so they're actually, I believe they're one of the most important things in the fandom that are really overlooked. Because like we said, comics are, imagine if there were never any superhero movies at all, and all we had was comics. If you like superheroes, your only choice was comics if you wanted to read about this superhero. Well, that's what it's like in the fandom. We don't actually have any movies that are made of these characters, so we just have to do comics, and the reactions to them are the same as movies or TV shows. Like, people are excited for the next comic to come out in 2012 and stuff like that, So the reaction is the same. It's our form of mainstream entertainment,
It's like, for like two kinds. Sometimes I'll just sit there at midnight just as Wednesday comes around for when it updates every Wednesday, and so I'm sitting there waiting for the clock to hit midnight, hitting F5, 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 F5. Where is it? I want the comic. I want the new page. Where is it? Give it to me. Give it to me.
Yes, that's
F5,
pretty much exactly
F5.
pretty much exactly what it's like. I used to do that with Original Life. Like, I stopped reading it so much only because I want to wait till it's really far updated, and so I can just read it.
It's something that sucks is when a really good comic goes dead, goes dormant.
Mm.
And one example of that is Beyond Eternal.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond Eternal.
That one I never heard of.
Which was created by Dark Silver on FA.
Nice.
So he just got into the second chapter.
Hmm.
And the first one was just mind blowing, and he just gets completed in the second chapter, and all of a sudden you see one of the antagonists dive into a fiery inferno suicide pit, and it just ends.
Mm-hmm.
Like something happens next, but
stuff like that. Cliffhangers. Cliffhangers in comics are what make people come back. And like I said, the comics are so important in the fandom because, like I've said this before, but there's no movies. There's Bitter Lake, but I'm talking like there's no mainstream industry for movies in the fandom, but this is all we have in terms of mainstream entertainment. And it's awesome. Like, comics are great. Like we said, people that are just so into a comic, just F5 right before, like at midnight when they're supposed to post, and they're just like, as soon as it's up, everyone reads it, and they're like, oh, did you hear about what happened to so and so in the comic? And it's so great. It feels like we're waiting for the next Iron Man to come out or something. Everyone's just anticipating and stuff. So it's pretty sweet. And that's the reason why the comics are so important, is because we have our own mainstream entertainment apart from just plain old artwork, But yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Let's see. I've reached the end of my discussion cards. I can throw this one at the camera right now. Woo! Any other discussion topics we wanna breeze through before we end the show?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, this is what usually happens. Like, this is why
we don't have any email.
Got no email. Shame on you guys. So, yeah. Anyways, in the future, we and Striker were just talking about this during the 10-minute break right before the discussion topic portion. We were saying we definitely. And we end the show almost every time by saying what we're going to do in the future in terms of advertising, but we're just going to continue that tradition by saying it again. We're working on making an ad for Furfinity, and once we bring it up, we'll hopefully get a lot more viewers, and then we will have audience interaction because we'll actually have a lot of viewers.
But you're touching the monitor of that laptop like you're trying to reach into it. It's like you're just pawing at it like you're having a conversation with it.
Actually, I'm just looking at my finger because I just cut myself at work yesterday. So, yeah.
I don't think the laptop cares.
I don't know. I just like holding it forward. I wasn't actually... I don't know. Whatever. We'll talk about it later. But... anyways, in the future, we're definitely going to... Foxes are weird, man. In the future, we're definitely going to do more advertising, and obviously when we go to Anthrocon, we're going to be advertising it as much as we possibly can in person. Yeah. We're not going to have like a panel or anything like that, but we're going to be handing out flyers, and we should make business cards too.
We had business cards.
Yes, we're definitely going to make those.
Yeah.
But if we get a lot more viewers, we're going to end up... The show is going to be way more entertaining if we have more viewers, because one of the things that makes our show more entertaining is the audience interaction. Reading stuff that goes on in the chat room and getting emails from people and reading emails. If we end up getting enough viewers, we'll have to do what Furcast does and just have an email portion of the show where we talk, like they do, we do random banter, then we go into news, and then we go into emails. And then the last one will end by doing a discussion topic like we've been doing for a while now. But
after I moved to Bloomfield, hopefully, I can find a place that will let me do this, and we'll be moving the studio there.
Yeah.
And, assuming I'm able to afford fast enough internet and all that, we'll be doing that.
Mm.
And we'll be making a lot of improvements to the show.
Yes, we will. So for those of you who stuck by us during the very beginning, you guys will be... very honorable mentions. Like we'll always pay attention to you guys, the ones that stayed with us back before the show went mainstream. So at least let's hope that that's the case. Because the reason this show, like, we don't have that many viewers because we just don't advertise it very much. Whenever we do advertise it, we get 1 or 2 more viewers who are suddenly hooked on the show because they've never heard of it before and they start to watch it. But if we get a broad audience, like if we do it on Fur Affinity, we'll reach a lot more people, and we'll be getting more and more people watching. And as a result,
of course, advertising costs money.
Oh yeah, but it's not too much. It's like $20 a month or something like that. It's really not that bad.
Yeah,
I would be willing to pay that to get more viewers. It's not bad at all. But we definitely need more audience interaction. That's why we're doing this. But we do very much appreciate the viewers that we have who make an effort to have audience interaction, like in the chat room and stuff like that, because we need at least a little bit. As long as one person is still watching, we're gonna keep doing the show. That's kind of the premise,
Yeah.
As long as one person stays in contact with us, tells us to love watching you guys, we're gonna keep doing it, keep delivering it for as long as we physically can. So who knows how long this Claws and Convo stretch is going to go. But we've definitely come a very long way since our first episode.
Indeed.
First episode, if you guys ever watch it, I think it's on YouTube.
Yep.
We had a lot more people because we had to have a lot of people. Otherwise, we couldn't.
It looked like a bunch of ghosts with a fuzzy camera.
Yeah,
and everyone sounded like this.
The mics were really bad,
everything was turned up way too loud, and
and we didn't have enough experience. Like now, Striker and I have done this long enough that we can entertain people for 2.5 hours.
You probably noticed that we kind of bounced it out off of each other a lot better.
Yeah,
now.
and this happened because as a result of us doing the show. Obviously the only way to get good at anything is to practice. And the only reason we can deliver a show like this that you're watching right now is because we started from not being very good and we slowly worked our way up. So if you ever watched episode 1, it'll be very different than what you see now. Like we didn't have any music.
Doing is knowing, and knowing is doing.
Exactly. So we've definitely come a very long way, and we very much appreciate, the few people that have been with us, that have really stuck by us during the entire thing. Especially Hematite Bear, who has always given us suggestions.
Yes.
He always encouraged us. He taught us. he would give us suggestions on how to make the lighting better. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but we actually have lighting, and we never had that during the first episode. We didn't really pay attention to that. And now we have mic stands, and we used to, I remember we always had a guest on the show because we could never deliver a good show with just the two of us. We were just not very good at it. We weren't experienced, like I said before. So we always had to have somebody on the show to deliver a good show. But then, I think the first time we delivered a show without any guests, it was just me and Stryker, like it is now. It was all right, but it wasn't as good as it is now. Like, we kind of had that interaction, like the two hosts bantering, bouncing stuff off of each other, which is essential in any radio show. But we didn't really have that to begin with. So it was a huge drop off of a big ledge for us to do that. But like I said, now we've gotten much better, and we really appreciate everyone who's been with us during the entire ride. So,
you want to stick around and do an after show?
I don't know what we would do though.
Just bullshit.
We could. That's kind of what Furcast does. They just start to. If anyone's just kind of bored and wants to chat with us on the show, that'd be totally fine. We'd love to hear from you. But the show officially, like the recorded version, stops when we're done with we're done delivering the show. So I guess we're getting pretty close to concluding it. Stryker, would you like to bring up the contact info there? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us during this 2.5-hour episode of Claus and Convo. The contact information is right there. For those of you who enjoyed the show, we would love to hear from you.
Of course, this will tell the credits. So
yep.
There.
For those of you who enjoyed the show, the contact info is right there. If you want to email us at strikepod.studios@gmail.com, if you just want to, tell us you like the show, or you hated the show, whichever one you want.
Yes, we will read your hate mail.
We will read hate mail on the air. So if you
and
send
laugh
us
at you.
If you send us a hate letter, we'll read it on the show. Just saying. So,
which reminds me, everyone should check out video on YouTube where Richard Dawkins reads his hate mail.
Oh, that ought to be funny.
It's hilarious.
Despite being a Christian, I actually appreciate Richard Dawkins. He's funny.
He reads it next to the fireplace.
That's freaking awesome. Like, Richard Dawkins, he's a smart guy.
He's awesome.
I've seen videos of him on YouTube. He's just the way that he describes everything. You can tell this guy's really intelligent, Like I said, I'm a Christian, and I still think he's cool. That's saying something. That means that he's a really intelligent and very sharp guy, and I really do appreciate how, like, the stuff like reading hate mail just in a funny way. That shows that he's really got a sense of humor,
What makes it great is just how he sounds. He says it so gentle.
Yeah, that's why he's so funny. Like,
bugger off.
He'll be explaining something, just like some Christians set a bad example for themselves. When they just rant at him, they're just like, oh, blah 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 blah, like this, and he's like, he just calmly explains it. He sets a good example for atheists out there everywhere. And then the Christian will just say something retarded, This is why most of the debates on YouTube are just retarded, because Christians don't know how to debate, But anyways, Fallon McDuncan says, well, hey, you guys make an awesome show. Well, thank you very much. We'd very much like to hear from any of you guys that enjoy the show this week. We'd like for you to join us next week, because we do it, weekly, whether we have viewers or not. So, anyways, I guess it's about time to wrap up the show. For those of you who enjoyed
and quick shout out to in case you might have caught my tail, it was made by AutoWorks. So shout out to AutoWorks.
Okie doke.
Yep.
We really appreciate all of you guys watching. You should join us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We really appreciate viewers, and that's it. Death to tyrants. Oh, wait, one more thing. If anyone wants to stay for the after show, we're just going to kind of be, messing around. It's not going to be as entertaining as the actual show, but if you just want to stay around and just chat, stuff like that for a little while, that'd be totally fine if you're bored. So, anyways, stick around for the after show if you want to continue talking to us. So other than that, we thank you for joining us. This has been Claus and Convo. I have been your foxy host, Dante Padfoot.
And I have been Striker Cheekwire.
Thank you for joining us. Death to tyrants.